All right. Evaluating the film, very proud of our team. Played hard, played physical in the game. Won a road game in the SEC, which is always tough. I know had some issues going into that place for quite a while from here from A&M, getting a win there. So it was a very good win. Anytime you can do it, followed up, off a so-called big victory, but just a win. Learning to play with some consistency. But still a lot of things to fix in all areas, offense, defense, special teams. Nowhere close to the kind of team we need to be. We're a work in progress. Got to continue to grow, understand how to play situations, play smarter at times, play more physical at times, play with more skill at times. But evaluating the game, I thought the defense did a great job in the game. Our front was able to create pressure. We were able to get 6 sacks in the game from either the front guys or simulated pressures and different blitz packages we were able to come up with, and still leverage the football in the secondary very well. Made every throw contested, tackled well, tackled in groups, didn't miss a lot of tackles. Had one on the touchdown drive that they got that was a missed tackle or two, relaxed a second. But thought overall defense played an outstanding football game. We were able to create 2 big turnovers, got one back in our end zone. Miles made a great play on, and then Peavy was able to create one and set up a score with a pressure, and they would pick it up. And him, Clemens, and Hansford, I believe it was Buddy and them that and Michael that created it. And then on offense, every time we were able to get a block, and then we got the block punt in special teams, which is great. But we also had a critical penalty in a couple. Our punt return game was pretty good. Nice, actually dropped one on that same one too. So 3 penalties and a drop punt, and we got it back up. But we had a couple nice punt returns, gave him some room in that regard. I thought we punted the ball very well, controlled field position, even though and hit a couple. I think 2 or 3 of them were around. I think 3 at the 10-yard line, 11-yard line, 9-yard line. Did a good job in that regard. So handling those aspects offensively. Played. I don't think anybody played well. Any group. I don't think the O-line played well. I don't think the running back played. I don't think any of them played poorly. As they did, we could have played better in all facets of what we did. But we capitalized. We're good in red zone, good in short yardage, physical situations. Ran the ball well at times. Made some big throws. But the thing we did, we answered up with a big drive after we had the turnover on the bounce play. It was very big to answer back. Hit a big 2nd and 10. Kellen and Chase hit it and then hit a big pass play, but we're able to execute on that drive to answer back. So our competitive nature and things is there, and we have a lot of room to improve in all 3 phases and what we're trying to do. And we need to do that this off week. We have to get better. We have to get healthy, and then we have to, again, heal up some bumps and bruises, which you have, nothing major. And then we got to get better this week so we can get down this run and play each game 1 game at a time. Because we have to take them 1 at a time because that's the kind of football team we are. We've started to have some success because we've ignored what people say, what they do, how they do it. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Win your space. Play physical, play tough, and that's what we got to do each and every week this week and from here on out and starting in 2 weeks with Arkansas. Questions?
First question's from Chip Howard at Sports Talk.
Jimbo, if I told you could only work on one aspect of your game this week, what would it be?
The team.
Anything specific?
Yes, the overall knowledge of how to play in the game, compete in the game, stay focused in the game, and play and not give other people hope and take advantage of every opportunity in which you have.
All right, let's move on to Brent Waterman from the Eastern Chronicle.
Jimbo, it seemed like what happened with Bobby Brown was almost like a freak accident. But then after last night, I don't know if you saw what happened to Cody Bellinger with the Dodgers. He dislocated his shoulder doing an elbow celebration. But my question to you is...
You're kidding me.
No.
Did he get taken out of the game?
No, it was late in the game and they popped it back in. But so my question to you is, do you talk to guys about being careful in celebrations and things like that? And like I said with Bobby, it seemed like a freak.
I mean, you got to have joy. I got to tell them, make sure you're not having so much joy we can't get lined up with all the no huddle that goes on today. That's the biggest thing I worry about. We get get so emotional that you can't get lined up the next play for no huddle, especially when you're on defense when you do those things. And you work too hard not to show good emotion to be able to have a good play. But you got to end up, people say, act like you've been there. Well, you got to have some emotion, but you also can't get so emotional. Because I believe this, showing emotion is good. Being emotional is bad. Because anytime you're emotional, you're a play behind. Whether it's offense, defense, special teams, whatever it is, because you're still dwelling on it, whether it was good or bad on the last play. And so we try to keep those things and just try to be smart, and try to remind them and try to point those things out. And but it's hard to say, hey guys, don't enjoy making a play. Guys, this game is so hard to prepare for, to play. You do the rigors of playing football and the physicality of practice. Not to enjoy the moment you have success on the field, but you got to keep it in temperament and pray to God your guy don't get hurt. It is. It's tough.
Two things. How's Bobby doing? And also, did McKinley Jackson, did he feel bad about that deal? What happened?
No, I mean, it was a freak thing. Of course, McKinley always does. But, hey, that Bobby wasn't mad at it. Just same that happened. The guys bump guys all the time. And, that's it. No, Bobby's fine. He should be. He didn't feel like he could go in the game, so he should be ready to go this week, hopefully.
Thank you.
All right, let's move to Gabe Bach at TexAgs.com.
Hey, Jimbo, we're talking about the defensive front. Jaden Peavy was named SEC Defensive Player of the Week. It
Yes.
could have been, I feel like, any of those guys, though. How pleased are you right now with what you're getting from that front?
Well, you got to. I mean, whether it's pressure, run stopping, and like I said, that's one of the things we've been trying to work on is quarterback pressures, pressuring the quarterback and pass rush. And now we had 4 sacks going in and got 6 in the game. So hopefully we can build on that and continue to find different ways. And it was also linebackers and safeties blitzing too, but the packages in which we can enhance to create pressures. But our defensive line is, like I say, it can be a very good strength for our football team.
Specific to McKinley Jackson and to Marvin Leal, probably about 2 of the loudest and most disruptive 2-tackle performances I've seen. Could you speak specifically to those 2 guys?
Yeah, those guys. I mean, because Marv's got the ability to go in or out, and he's athletic. He has the size for the inside guys, but the athleticism for the outside guys. He's a very unique player, and I think in today's football, will be a very productive player for a long time. Guys are outstanding, have great football mind. McKinley the same way. But here's the thing about both those. One thing common about both those guys. They love ball. And when I say love ball, everybody say, well, everybody loves ball. No, you don't. Some guys like playing ball or playing in a game. Some guys like to lift weights. Some guys like to run. Some guys like to practice. They like to watch film. Those guys like everything that goes with ball. That's why they play good. The God's blessed them with a great bit of talent, and they utilize it. But they love all the things that go with ball, which today isn't always and there always was. A lot of guys have been that way for you. I say today, but for years, I always say my generation. Me and my players, everything. Yeah, coach, your generation. You know what I mean? I say your generation. But, it's always like, how many guys truly love everything that goes with it? Both those guys do. They're both very talented. They're both gifted, and Lord willing, they stay healthy. They can play this game a long time. Very pleased with both of them.
Thank you, Jimbo.
Next up is Travis Brown from the Bryan College Station Eagles.
2 quick ones, Coach. Any update on Stiller? I know you said it probably wasn't a big deal, but any status on him?
No, he should be good. I mean, he should be good. I mean, he was nicked, and we selected him to do it, and he should be good to go.
Great. And then I know a lot of uncertainty coming into the season on where this wide receiver core will be, a young wide receiver core. How do you grade them at this point in the season, and what's their focus leading to this bye week?
I don't grade them. I mean, we've got to look at what we're doing. We got to get better. Still lots of room for improvement, but they're learning to make plays. They're talented. They got ball skills. They can run, and they're learning. Receiver, you got to understand, we only see them when the ball's in their hand. What do you play? 85, 90% of what a receiver does when the ball's not in his hand? And that's even guys that catch 5 balls a game, 6 balls a game. And you play 70 plays in a game, 80 plays in a game. How they play, how they open up routes, how they run, the speed in which they run routes, all those things. I mean, there's still tons of work to do in there. They have the ability, but we got to get better at that position and every position and to go where we need to go.
All right, let's go to Mike Lucas from KAGS.
Hey, Coach, with this being a weird off season and you guys not being able to do everything you wanted, is this bye week maybe a little more important than usual for some of the younger guys to get those game time reps or game prep reps?
Well, I mean, I think anytime you do, but I think, we're going to have to keep developing our guys because we got 6 big SEC games coming up, and we're going to have to build depth. And some of these guys I think are getting ready to play. We can really emphasize some situations we put them in this week. So to say it's any bigger, I don't say it's any bigger, but I think it's extremely important that we get better this week and our young guys really develop.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Next up is Mark Passwaters from Rivals.com.
Coach, I wanted to touch on the linebackers real quick. Hansford and Buddy combined for 21 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. May have been the best games of their career. Just wanted to get your take on how you feel about their play to this point in the season.
Played solid. They're getting better. A lot of areas in which they can improve on. And like I say, they played a good game there, leveraged the football well, tackled well. I did some things, and we got to continue to learn to, we'll learn to continue to fit on run plays and get guys off, and how we see the gap plays, and also the eye violations that we go on. We're continuing to grow, and those guys are getting better. They're very athletic. They're very good guys. They work very hard, and they're still as we say, our team is a work in progress. They're to continue to get better and better each week.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Let's go to Tyler Shaw at KBTX.
Coach, I wanted to ask about Jaden Peavy getting recognized for Defensive Lineman of the Week for his performance. Obviously, the whole line played well. has his play this year and just his experience helped as a leader for this group?
Well, I think here's the first. To me, Jaden's success is because it started in the offseason. I think you saw. I expected Jaden to have a good year. You don't ever know till they do it. But I think his offseason has been the best offseason he's had. It's amazing when you're totally invested in everything. Not that you weren't invested, but the total investment, that total commitment of liking everything that goes with ball, not taking days off as far as, I'm just getting through it today. I'm working hard. He has been tremendous in the offseason. And I think it's like goes anything. When you invest in something so much, man, it makes it hard to give up, and it gives it hard not to play hard when you get those opportunities. And I think he is really maturing and growing. His leadership has been very good, his whole demeanor, and it's showing on the field now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move on to Justin Woodard from KAGS.
Coach, we joked with Carson Green after the game that you guys were becoming a run-first, pound-and-ground team. He said, oh, yeah, we don't want Coach to have to throw the ball because that's what he wants to do the most. While you're trying to develop consistency outside, though, all joking aside, how nice is it that you have a running game right now that it seems to be clicking?
We have to have balance. I mean, and like I say, I didn't think we played great up front. I thought we played very average in that game. I thought we could play much better. And how we did and how we ran the ball. We ran the ball better. You got to have balance. I don't want to throw it. I want to run it. I want to do both. I always have, always will. And there's times you got to run the football. You got to run short yardage, goal line, red zone, tight zone, last 4 minutes of the game. And you have to run it when they know you're going to run. That's when you're a tough football team. And we're learning to do that. We're running on our short yardages and getting down around the end zones. We're running the football, checking and running a good naked play action game. And in the last couple games, you see we've been able to take the air out of the ball. Even we did it last week on the turnover, got the field goal and took the clock against Vanderbilt. We got to run the clock out the last 5 minutes. And last week we took the last 5 minutes of the game out as we knelt down on the goal line. So we're learning how to do it then in different ways and different forms and hitting high percentage passes. Those are things you have to do. So we're learning to run it when you have to. The rest of the time is when the numbers say and what the matchups are. So we have to be balanced. And we're getting better at that. But there's still, I go back, you watch the film, there's still a lot of yards we're leaving on the field.
All right, let's move to Kirk Bowles from the Austin American Statesman.
Jimbo, do you feel like after 4 games y'all formed an identity that you can count on week in, week out?
Yeah, I hope that we're molding it there, but you got to see because we're still leaving too much on the field. Like I say, I think we've won some games, but we still haven't played close to our capabilities. I think from a competitive nature, hopefully that we'll compete in games and not look at the scoreboard and worry about results, that we'll play. That's the nature I want to depend on. That, we're going to be relentless in how we compete, how we play, what we do. And no matter what happens the previous play, we're playing the next one and stay in the game and be able to and make critical plays and learn to play critical moments better. That's what we have to do and learn how to understand that it's expected to play well, you should play well, and how to play well. And that's hopefully what we're developing and we're in the progress of trying to grow into.
And are you telling your team not to read clippings and social media?
Yeah, it's all garbage. It's all poison. Listen. Right now, we need to worry about next week and how we get better this week. And then get ready for Arkansas and play it, and don't worry about the scoreboard, win your space. You can't worry about what y'all say. And I don't mean that in any disrespect to any of y'all. Y'all going to write your story, say what you're going to say. We have to play. We're in a results-based world on what we do and how we prepare to play. And you can't believe the poison that's out there, good, bad, indifferent, whether it's bad or it's good. What matters is what's in that room and what you believe with your players, coaches, and organization. And you play the next play, win your space, put your dominance on somebody else, put your will upon somebody else, and play. And that's what we need to stay focused on and not anything else.
Thanks, Coach.
Let's move to Andrew Hattersley from 247 Sports.
Hey, Coach, since you guys aren't able to go out on the road this week, how do you guys plan to use this bye week as a coaching staff?
We're going to coach our team, get it better, get ready to prepare for the upcoming games, different things, and different opponents down the road. We'll really break down a tons of film and have our things. We have an extended game plans and some things that people cause us problems on, and of course we'll stay in recruiting. We're going to stay on our recruits like we have been all year, still calling, texting, doing all the things that we're allowed to do, FaceTime and whatever we can.
Thanks a lot.
All right, let's go to Chuck Carlton and then Zach Taylor.
Jimbo, a little bit off topic. I was curious with everything that's been going on with COVID and coaches recently. Nick may or may not have had it, Mike Norvell, other guys. I was just curious during, before the season, did you kind of set up a line of succession in terms of how you would handle things, and how weird was that, and what goes into kind of a thought process like
You do. I mean, you went through it. I went extensively through it, and what I want to do and what will happen when it happens and why it happens. And it's very much it's like writing your own will. Like you're not going to be there. It's totally different. And who you put in charge of situations, and why they're there and what goes on, in your opinion, because of how, not just necessarily their abilities, but also their abilities, but how you want things done yourself too, which is a big part of it. And so we get into that realm. So it's very different. It was something I ain't never had to do in a long time, or had done for me even when I was an assistant. So it is very different.
All right, let's move on to Zach Taylor from WTOW, and then Chip Howard.
Yeah, Jimbo, typically it seems like coaches allow for their players to have a little bit of time off on bye weeks, maybe go see a family. With COVID-19 and everything else going on, are you going to be allowing your players?
Yeah, I can't stop. You can't stop them. I mean, they can go all they want. You have to tell them to be smart, just like I always have. You have to understand your decisions. They can go home. I mean, after games, how do I stop them from seeing their families? When their families come to the game? Well, it's no different. I mean, it's no different going anywhere. Where you go, what you do, and who you're around is going to be the same no matter whether you're here or there or what goes on. So, I mean, they got all the free time during the day to do things. There's nothing we can stop them from doing. But you just got to make sure you're around people that have been tested, cleared in our protocols, and be smart and don't jeopardize the team in any way, shape, or form.
Thanks.
All right, let's move to Chip Howard from Sports Talk, and then Jennifer Streeter.
Jimbo, what will you do on Saturday? Will you watch some games, or are you one of those that wants to get away if you have a few hours?
If I can, I'll be with the family. I may watch some or here and there, depending on what they want to do or what we're doing, or if we're out we go out in the country or do something, or spend time with my boys, we hunt or do something. I mean, it could be anything. And I'll, after a ton of prep, so I'll try to spend a little bit of time with the family, boys, Courtney, everybody, and see what's going on Saturday and spend some family time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we've got a couple more questions. Let's go to Jennifer Streeter at the battalion, and then Dave Pop.
Hey, Coach, especially coming off of Chapman's injury, how do you feel about Chase Lane?
He's growing. He's learning how to play. He's a young receiver. He has a lot of ability. Very smart young man, very versatile, can catch it deep, short, run with it. He's getting better and better each week and becoming a bigger part of our offense.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, last on the question queue is Gabe Bach from TexAgs.com.
Hey, Jimbo, in regards to Isaiah Spiller, did you see this coming during camp, and what are some specific things he's done to become a more complete back in the SEC?
Well, he's learned to play, and we're blocking well, and like I say, he's running well, and there's still a lot of runs that I think there's leaving yards out there too. I think he's learning to be a pass blocker, which is something we worked hard in camp on. That he struggled with a little bit as a freshman last year, learning to recognize protections, learning he can catch the ball, but also becoming a better route runner, and how you run routes, and how you learn to chip inside, as not just carrying the football. And running back, people don't understand, has to do so many things. And he's doing a good job. And as I say, we're blocking well. And I think of Nias. When Nias is running the football, he's doing a really good job. He had some really nice runs when we put him in there the other night. So I think Isaiah is really growing. His size is learning to use his power. Got to learn to be a one-cut guy. You don't need to dance, need to run. Don't learn to run through color. Learn to, as I say, drop that shoulder near leg and take 2-yard runs and make them 4-yard runs, 4-yard, 6-yard runs. That's what great backs do. The big ones come. But when you take those, all of a sudden the coach can hand that ball and it's like it's 2 or 3, and all of a sudden it's 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5. Those are the things as a coach deep down you understand when the guys really understand how to run and run behind their pads and their players, be around them, the blocking schemes.
Thank you, Jimbo.
Thank you.
All right, that's all the questions we have for you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.